Have you seen that TikTok trend of it's 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 football players who are doing bad, and it's like it's who Saddam Hussein is with the bad with the bad football players, and it's like fading in and out every time a football player is bad. I'm like, I don't get it. I'm like, why?
I don't either.
I don't understand
I've
it.
never
I
seen it.
think
I don't know.
yeah, I'll have to show you. Yeah, Saddam Hussein and all the NFL players that are doing bad. It's pretty funny. I'll send
Here,
it to you because I didn't get it. All right, guys, we are back. It is week 3 in the NFL. Last week, I did not have a good week against the spread, but Adam had a great week. He came back, he crawled back, and now he is winning. We'll put our records against the spread after 2 weeks right here in the bottom. And Adam, he did had a great week, and now he's ahead of me. He also did better in his best bets. He went 2-1 in his best bets, and I went 1-2. So week 2 was not a good week for me. But I'm going to turn around this week, try to catch up to Adam and take the lead. A lot of great games today. My Eagles are playing the Rams, the team they played in the NFC Championship, and the Packers, Adam's team, are playing the Browns, which I think could be a sneaky game. So I'd pay attention to that game if I were you guys. So I'd let you guys know I know Adams. Oh, the Packers look good. So, anyways, guys, we're here to give our week 3 predictions. Like and subscribe. It goes a long way for this small channel. We try to give out the best picks, or we do the research. We're just not here pulling numbers out of our behind. So we do a lot. We love doing this. So let's get after it. And in our first game, we have the Commanders versus the Raiders. And it's in Washington, and the Commanders are favored by 5.5 points, and the over/under is 47.5. I called it, Adam. I like to call it. I called it. I don't know if you caught that game, but I kind of knew that Geno would have that inconsistent game against the Rams. You know what I mean? Did you see that?
I saw some of it. Yeah, their offensive line looked really rough. Ashton Genty's not getting going. I saw one clip where he was in pass pro or something, and he got like thrown like he was a high school player. So the warning lights are starting to flash in Las Vegas.
Yeah, I think Genty, they got to be a little worried. I know it's week 2, but this is their number 1 pick, and they need something to help Geno Smith because he was awful. He was so inaccurate. 3 interceptions. We'll briefly talk about the Raiders here. Like I said, embarrassing loss to the Chargers. I was on the right end of that. He threw 3 interceptions, and his completion rate was 50%. So basically, when he threw a ball, it's like, oh, is it going to the defender or is it going to my receiver? That's how basically Geno was Smith is. And I told you guys he had some inconsistent days with the Seahawks, and he had some inconsistent days. He's gonna have inconsistent days with the Raiders, so that's why it's a little watch out when you bet with them. Genty, he has been mediocre, like we just said. He has 71 total rushing yards and 1 touchdown. 71 total rushing yards out of 2 games and 1 touchdown. And I know a lot of people probably drafted that guy in fantasy at a high, for the first few rounds, probably, right? A couple rounds.
I did in our league. I think pick 8 or 9. So
Yeah.
yeah, struggling.
Yeah. So this guy's not producing as for fantasy owners and obviously for the Raiders. Offensive line, like Adam said, has been god awful, allowing 16 pressures. And in total, the offensive line for the Raiders have allowed us 7 sacks and 32 pressures. So their teams are just getting after him. And Geno Smith is not the most mobile quarterback. You would think he is, but he's not. So they got to change a lot of things up. Their defense, the kind of the water's leaking through the cracks. I see Crosby trying to do everything. He forced that fumble, trying to bring him back in that game. Remember, and offense still couldn't do anything. They're still a couple pieces away for adding people on their defense. So not much to brag about there, but Max Crosby. But big news for the Commanders. We're doing this on a Thursday, so pay attention. Jaden Daniels is injured, and I know he has a knee injury. I'm not sure if I know he's questionable, so keep a page on that. They do have Marcus Mariota as a backup. He probably works good with their system. I think in those times last year when Daniels was out, I think Mariota came in a couple of times and he actually performed well. So he's not one of the worst backups.
Yeah, but that's a huge, huge loss. Obviously, Daniels hasn't played amazing in these first 2 games, but man, that would be a huge one. I don't know what it is this year. I feel like we're not getting injury reports until like right before the game. I know like Waddle's thing changed an hour ago, and the game starts in like 10 minutes. So
Yeah.
maybe it's always like this, but man, injuries have been really, really late reporting this
To
year.
I Yeah, I totally agree. So, like, if Jaden Daniels, I want to take a little. I know we're trying to do this game quick. I just want to tell people, pay attention to what your books do. When I heard Daniel Daniels hurt his sprained his knee, I went to immediately when they got released to go to the books and take the Raiders at the highest number because right now Washington's favored 5.5. When I wrote it, now it's come down and Washington is favored by 3.5. It dropped 2 points, but the books took it off the where you can't choose it, so you won't be able to get the Raiders at 5.5. And this is one thing I hate about the books. They take all I don't know. It's like they're not letting you. They're it's not their job. It's their job to win money, but it's like I think
Mhm.
it's not fair that they take it off and they just don't make the adjustment in real time and let people try to catch the number in real time. But they don't. They take it off completely, and then you're stuck with the number they give you after because they don't because Jaden Dan was hurt. I think that's a little sketchy.
Yeah, yeah, it's a casino. I mean, they don't play by the rules.
Right, exactly. Well, game back to the Commanders. I just want to let you guys know that if you try to get them at 5.5, you couldn't. So now it's at 3.5. So this was this. So the number is actually 3.5. So Washington's coming off a loss to the Packers. Packers dominate them. Anything you saw from there, real quick, Adam, when the Packers pitted to them?
Not really. Their offense wasn't super explosive, but I know they have the pieces. They looked decent in week 1. If Jaden Daniels comes back, I do feel like they're kind of a bounce back candidate after playing a tough Packer team. I don't know that we can judge them just based on that because the Packers are white hot right now. If McLaurin and Samuel can get going, and I do like that new Bill, the running back Jakrowski Merritt,
Yeah.
and getting rid of Eckler, maybe it can put some life into their team. So I still see the potential, but need a healthy Jaden Daniels and one that bounces back after last week.
Right, and like you said, Austin Eckler's done for the year, so patron that. They did lose the Will Dietrich Wise as well. He's on pit on the IR, so they did go to sign Preston Smith, the ex Packer, who had a lot of sacks for you guys, I think, a couple of seasons. So they signed him to a 1 year deal. He's originally from Washington, so they try to fill that hole. And even though if Jaden Daniels does come back, pay attention because him and Scary Terry, he missed all of the preseason, and they just been off. Scary Terry has not put up a lot of yards, and the pass protection has been below average for Daniels as well. So pay attention, guys. So this number is going to move back if Daniels does play this game. So right now it's a 3.5. So Washington might be a good play. But if he doesn't, I think it's gonna be a tough game to predict with the inconsistencies of Geno Smith. So, dude, this is a doozy. I'll let you go first, man, since you had the winning week. I know this kind of debates if Jaden Daniels does come back, but we'll take it for what it is right now at 3.5. So, who do you like?
I'm gonna go Commanders. I'm gonna take the gamble on Daniels being healthy. Hopefully that'll give me the advantage of the points, and I do think their offense takes another step forward against the Raiders this week.
Yeah, I'm solely taking this game because Commanders at home. I'm worried about the running game. I know the young rookie they got, but he was a seventh rounder. And hey, you do find diamonds in the rough, but and they have Nichols as a backup. I feel like they need to get somebody else. Like they do. Whatever helps young quarterbacks like Jaden Daniels. It's a good running game, so I feel like they need to go sign somebody. But I like their weapons. Scary Terry, another third game to get back in the football mode, and Zach Ertz, that guy's, he's Mr. Reliability. So I think they take a next step forward. Even with Mariota, I just can't trust Geno Smith. I just can't. And Genti, it's like it all depends. It's all on the shoulders of Geno. Now, if Genti was good, I would have been like, great, that's awesome. I like this, but no, I just can't trust the inconsistency of Geno on the road. So I'm with you, man. Give me and Adam for the Commanders to take 3.5 points to cover the 3.5. I'm sorry. And in our second game, let's get at it. We have the Falcons versus the Panthers, and it's gonna go a divisional game. And surprisingly, now this number surprised me, Adam. It's the Falcons are only favored by 3.5, and the over/under is 43.5. Atlanta, they're coming off a boring win against the Vikings. I say boring because it was field goal city, one after another, just field goals left and right. You expect more from the Falcons because what they did in their first game of the week. But they're boring game. A win's a win. They beat them. They stopped JJ McCarthy from doing some last minute magic. So good win for them. Um, the Falcons' run game, though, no, the run game has been, great. BJ Robinson is dynamite. That he is the offense. Even though Michael Penix, he's looking like a good, decent quarterback. It all runs on BJ Robinson. If Robinson's going, then it sets up the whole passing game. The they were 39 for 218 yards, 39 carries for 218 yards against the Vikings, which is a 5.6 average per run. So that's pretty damn good. Him and Tyler Algier are a good 1-2 combo. Um, the defense looked good too. The defense sacked JJ McCarthy, I think four to five times. So they had his number six times. They sacked him six times, and that's the factor of their success. I've said it multiple weeks. They have to get after the quarterback and they have to run the ball, and it's all based on BJ Robinson. I mean, he's basically the new like. I don't know. You know what I mean? They need to. There's a run oriented team, and he's the one that gets the wheels going.
Yeah, he's the do it all back. He can do it all. I mean, he's not like a McCarthy style, but he's dominant. I mean, I think he had the first touchdown of the year and like a crazy throw. He's just doing it all.
I mean, he leads the team and rushing yards and receiving yards. So he's the all package. He's basically Christian McCarthy when
I
he's
said McCarthy. Sorry, I messed you up. It's McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
My bad.
Sorry.
Also,
Uh,
I do think the spread moved to 5.5. It
did
opened at
it?
3.5, and now it's 5.5. Yeah,
Oh, did okay. See, when I write some of these earlier in the week when I'm doing my research, and it did. So now the number's at 5.5, guys. I wrote this at 3.5 when I was doing my research, which I would have taken personally, but 5.5 now. That is a bigger number. So let's get back to it. Like I said, the key to success is their pass rush and their running game. But the I think they got 6 sacks, but the offensive line for the Vikings was beat up. So I am not a buyer on their pass rush just yet. Let's see if they can do it consistently because the first game of the season they only had 1 sack. So 1 to 6 is a big difference, but that was to a Vikings offensive line that was beat up. And we don't have to speak about their offense. They have great offense. BJ Robinson, Jake London's proven that he's a great wide receiver, and Kyle Pitts, surprisingly, is having a bit of a resurgence. He's maybe not living up to that bill of that generation of talent, like people said, but he is looking better as that first round pick. And I hope he does because I have his signed rookie card. Um, with that, let's talk about the Panthers. Panthers. I said last week that like they've been burning me so bad. Uh, you know, they covered a lot of spreads last year, and I believe they covered the spread last week. I think they were down. I think they were a 6.5 point dog or 5 point dog, and they came back to cover against the Cardinals. So that's good, but like that, they still don't look too great. Bryce Young, he's still, you think he'd be really great, but he is still slowing. Like I don't know I don't know what to make of Bryce Young. What do you think?
I don't know either. They've been spreading the ball all over the place. I know their wide receiver Xavier Legette, who I really liked last year, has looked terrible. Ted McMillan, though, they're I think the first wide receiver after Travis Hunter taken in the draft, is looking awesome. So if they can kind of revamp the offense and start force feeding it to McMillan, they might get something going because Chuba Hubbard's a good running back. There's still potential, but man, yeah, Bryce Young is hard to watch.
Right. And that's why it's night and day with Bryce Young. Bryce Young looked terrible in the first game of the week, and then against the Cardinals, he threw 55 times. Now, let me tell you something. Bryce Young should never throw 55 times. He should never have 55. The offense should run through Chuba Hubbard and whoever the backup running back is, and let it run through that. But listen, he threw 55 times, 328 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Good game. The secondary for Arizona is a little bit beat up, but hey, other than that, hey, what are you gonna say? It's a good game. But you don't want Bryce Young to throw 55 times. No quarterback should throw 55 times unless it's literally a score of like in their 40s each or high 30s. So that's a little concerning. The run game needs to be better. Chuba Hubbard needs to produce. He needs to be that guy he was last year. And you took the words out of my mouth. Xavier Legette, he's been looking god awful, and he was a first round pick last year, so he needs to step it up. Um, I touted a lot in the beginning of the season about their front seven. Like I thought it was going to be like one of the top 10 in this league. But I maybe even said top five. But they only have one sack in the first two games. One sack. That is god awful. I don't like. I don't know why they're not getting to the quarterback. Maybe they'll change it around, but this is very disappointing, and it's not a good idea because there's one thing you hang your hat on the Panthers is they had a lot of good players on their defense, and they're not just producing on sacks. And also, the defense has allowed 55 points in two games. So even even the back seven isn't even doing that great. So I'm concerned with the defense. I guess a positive. Hunter Renfro is looking like he kind of his career is jumping back. He had a really good game. I believe he had two touchdowns against the Cardinals. But that's one pick. But they didn't give up. Also, I guess that's a thing. They didn't give up. They were down 27-3, I believe. Um, and in the second half they roared back and scored. They only lost by 5 points. So I guess that's a good positive that they didn't give up and they really put it to the Cardinals in the second half. So with that, man, they're playing the Falcons, division rival, and the Panthers. Numbers at 5.5, open at 3.5, like you said. Who do you like?
Yeah, I don't love this. I think, like you said, their defense has really been missing Brian Burns after last year. Um, Falcons seems like they're starting to feel themselves a little bit. I think Michael Penix is playing decent. So I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I think they're equal or better than the Cardinals. Um, yeah, and I think the Falcons. I know it's a lot of points, but I think the Falcons can pound the rock and handle it.
I'm with you. This is tough. It's a divisional game, and there was a time in the Panthers, like I say with anything, when you're sports betting, it's all about catching. It's all about when this is what I say. When you have to find a good time when to buy low and sell high. When you buy low when the team is when the spreads are too big and like because the public is so against them that it pushes the number up more and more. And, every bone in my body is telling me to pick the Falcons here, but you know what? I'm going to give the Browns one more, the Browns. I'm going to give another crappy team. I'm going to give the Panthers one more shot and say that maybe the game against the Cardinals was a step up for the team this year in the offense. I'm also not, like I said, I'm not sold on this pass rush. The offensive line to the Panthers is not so bad as the Cardinals. The left tackle could be better, but I like their interior linemen. So I'm going to take a hope and a prayer here for the Panthers plus no, yeah, for Panthers plus the 5.5. Adam got the Falcons to cover the 5.5. And like I just messed up there by saying the Cleveland Browns. Well, let's talk about the Packers versus the Cleveland Browns. The Packers and Cleveland Browns, the spread was 8.5 last time I checked. The over under being 42.5. Adam, I'll let you take it away. The Packers, they cut their 2-0 against the spread. They embarrassed the Commanders. So, what do you think after the first 2 weeks here?
They're white hot. It's awesome. I'm starting to get kind of nervous. I'm waiting for that shoe to drop. I saw Tucker Kraft had an injury scare today, so we're kind of
Yeah,
on
breaking
edge.
news.
Yeah, I think he's going to be okay. But also, Parsons has been on a snap count. I know he's itching to get to full health. So I don't know. I think the first 2 weeks, the NFL, especially week one, I don't want to judge too much of the teams, good or bad. But the Packers defense has bottled up two of the top offenses from last year, the first 2 weeks. Their offense, I think, is only scratching the surface. Teams seem to be kind of selling out to stop our run game, which they've been doing fairly successfully. Um, but I love Matt LaFleur's play calling. We're moving the ball, we're scoring points, we're playing balance. So I love how the team's playing, and I'm excited for this week.
You are. I mean, yeah. I mean, you can't go anywhere and watch any NFL analyst or host you watch. Everybody has the Packers in top three, top five power rankings. Everybody's seen what they can do. I watched that Packer game. The Commanders. I don't think the Commanders since 2 minutes in the first quarter had a chance to win that game. Yeah, they look great. The Packers look great. Love hasn't thrown no interceptions, so that's a plus. He was a little pass happy, a little crazier last year. Just I know he was injured after the first game of the week, but the first game of the first game last year, but he was a little prone to throw interceptions. That could still happen, but him not throwing interceptions now is good. I'm with you with the Kraft thing. That's Kraft, Reed, and Watson. Now, pay attention because as today, Thursday, it did come up that he got hurt in his knee. So make and Kraft killed it last week against the Commanders. So that's three prominent guys that could possibly be out for the Packers. They still got some weapons in Wicks and Golden, and they got Jacobs and Musgrave is not a bad second tight end. He's actually pretty decent. So uh, they're not. They still got weapons, but that's something to pay attention to. Jacobs to me looks good, not great. He's getting a touch on every game, but I guess we all could say, look, where's that 100? When is that 100-yard game going to happen? I think we're all waiting for that one. I mean, it's getting to the point where I don't know. These weapons scare me. Golden is good, but I mean, I think maybe he's not a superstar yet. And Wicks, I know he's a speed guy, but after that, like, who am I scared of? I mean, if
I mean,
Kraft is out, I mean,
Dobbs is solid.
is Dobbs playing? Because I know he's been banged up.
Yeah, he's clear. So I think Dobbs can step up. Matthew Golden, I was reading from reporters that he was open on basically every play. So I think with these injuries to Reed and now Kraft potentially too, that they're going to start manufacturing more stuff for Golden, and he's going to start hopefully breaking out. He almost missed on a deep shot last week, so that would have changed people's opinions. I don't know that he's a stud, but I think he's still a good wide receiver in a great offense with great play calling. So this will
Yeah.
be a test. This will be a test.
That's true. And if lo and behold, if this is the time for this is the year for the Packers if they are a little banged up because their defense has been so great. I mean, so if you're going to be a little banged up, it's good to have a defense. You could you have this defense going now. The defense is now arguably the strength of the team. 8 sacks in 2 games. 12 quarterback hits against Jaden Daniels. So that means they were getting after him left and right. So that means Jaden Daniels probably. I mean, he was running for his life a couple of times. The linebackers are getting after the guys. We don't have to repeat all the guys, Gary and Parsons, like Vaness, your boy Cooper, they are getting after it, and that's a really great linebacker room. And they lead the league in QB pressures with 38 QB pressures, and they're second in sacks, people. So it's like, you gotta have a great offensive line to go after, to just, to survive against the Packers now these days. It's looking like the mid-1990 Packers with all these defenders. Um, I still have no idea who your cornerbacks are, right, guy. I don't know if it's the pass rush that's protecting the corners because I feel like that's maybe still a weakness for the Packers. I could be wrong because when I look at their names, I do watch the games. I'm still like, is it because Bo Melton and I forget the other guy, but um,
Keyshawn Nixon was kind
Nixon.
of our top guy, and he really promoted himself to be that guy. Last week he had 5 pass breakups. His previous record for the year was 7. So
Oh, okay,
they are jumping everything because this D line is just dominating. So
right.
we haven't been tested enough to really get exposed. I think some teams will in the future, but that front 7 of ours is just a Tasmanian devil style, causing chaos for everybody. And I don't think Joe Flacco is going to be the quarterback with that offense to break this defense. So I don't know. I think they're going
Yeah.
to be hungry.
Oh, you got that right. I really think I think once they play a high power offense, and people thought that I mean, well, I don't know if the Lions were ready for their pass rush
It
or
was week
because they.
1. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, regardless, the Packers look great. They're but after 2 weeks, they look at one of the most complete teams in all of the NFL, offense and defense. Like I said, pay attention to the injuries. They're getting a little banged up. Pay attention to that. Let's briefly talk about the Browns. They got blown out by the Ravens. I mean, they were in actually pretty much like it's like the third quarter ish, and then like the dam broke off. You know what they call it? The water broke the dam or dam, or whatever the saying
Mhm.
is. And the Ravens just clocked them and they blew them out the water. But here's some positives. It's not, uh, Judkins, the guy they drafted, he did play that game, which I was surprised he did. He had 10 carries for 61 yards. So if they might just give him a crap ton of him and Ford and just take the pressure off of Joe Flacco. So that's actually good news because their whole running back room was terrible. Samson, Ford, and the other guy, they were just awful. And Jukins is probably a breath of fresh air for them. The rush defense held the Ravens to only 45 yards on 21 carries. So that is almost only like that's like 2 yards a carry. So and
against the
the
Hall of
we
Fame running back.
yeah, exactly. And the rush defense has held both their opponents, both teams now, to a combined 91 rushing yards. So they have a great, like I mentioned before when we did our predictions first week. They have the potential to have a great front seven, especially the front four, front five. That line and the guy they drafted, Graham and with Garrett, like it's really great. So they are stopping the run like nobody business. Um, before we get our predictions, little betting statistics for you guys. In the last 10 games, going back to last year, plus these two, Packers are 7-3 against the spread. The under is 5-2 in the Packers' last 7 games, and the Packers have been 6-1 straight up against the Browns in the last 7 games. And the Packers are 6-0 against the spread in the last 6 games played on week 3, which I don't really think that matters. And the Browns have lost 8 straight games. So, man, I'll let you take it away. Who do you think? Who do you got here?
I'm rolling with the Packers. I know it's a lot of points, and it probably could be a defensive
Go,
battle
Pack,
that
go.
could be low scoring. But come on, after the first 2 weeks, I'm not gonna be predicting rain clouds when all I see is sunshine, baby. So let's keep going.
That's a good one. That's a good one. You know, my brain is telling
Just
me
do it. Just take the Browns. Come on.
my brain is telling me to take the Packers, but my heart is telling me that the Browns can hang in. Here's my thinking. All the money is going on the Packers. The whole
Mhm.
public is betting on the Packers. And I'm going to take this at 8.5, but I'm also, if it goes higher, I'm going to put some money on this. I'm not lying to you. I'll
Eight
take
and
the
a half.
green shot instead of two.
Oh,
It,
okay. You're gonna juice a little bit.
oh, no, no, no. I'm going to, if the line moved, last time I checked, the spread was 8.5 points.
I see 7.5 on ESPN. I could be wrong,
Okay.
or it could not. It might be wrong.
I in some books, it's 8.5. There's a website called actionnetwork.com, and you can see all the best from all the books.
Gotcha.
So 8.5. Okay. I'm going to take it at that. Um, so I think they'll stop Jacobs. Their proof is in the pudding. They stopped Henry, and Henry's a monster. And I think it's going to force Love to throw a lot of passes, and they got 2 weapons that I might not play in this game. Well, they have Watson and Reed out, and if Kraft doesn't play, that's 3 weapons. And they have a good secondary. It's not terrible. I think the Packers are going to win by a mile. I mean, they're going to win. That's a guarantee, straight up. But I think they keep it close enough. I think this is going to be a 14-21 kind of game, and they cover just enough. I know you know, Packers are the hottest team in the NFL right now, but I think the Browns are gonna. I think they're gonna it's 0-2. They got something to prove. Flacco veteranship. I think I'm gonna take the Browns plus the 8.5 points, and I think I don't know. Maybe it'll be a closer game. Maybe it'll be down to the wire. It's in
Godspeed,
Cleveland.
brother.
All right, guys. So on our next game, that is gonna be a good game. I can't wait to watch that. We're sticking with the NFC North here. We have the Bengals versus the Vikings, the battle of the backup quarterbacks. Bengals, Joe Burrow. I'm sure everybody heard he is out for 3 months with like a turf toe surgery, which I don't even know what turf toe is really. You know what that is?
I can't explain it. I don't know.
I think it's like a ligament, probably a big toe ligament injury. That's what I think it is.
Yeah.
And the Vikings, good old Carson Wentz from my group, my old Philadelphia Eagles, he is there to bring some I don't know what kind of magic he has to bring some of that Christian power magic because so Minnesota's favored by 3.5, and the over under is 41.5 points. Like I said, Joe Burrow's hurt, guys. But Jake Browning, he's been part of this team. He's had a lot of starts because of Joe Burrow being hurt, and that's another thing, guys. I know me and Adam, we talked about this first. We talked about this. The franchise is running Joe Burrow. I know they signed T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, great, but like they've been having offensive line issues for as long as I can remember since Joe Burrow's been their quarterback. And the guy gets sacked like it's nobody's business. Everybody says Joe Burrow, he has Peyton Manning in him, like you see it, but it's like you're ruining your best quarterback you've had maybe in franchise history, and he's going down the crapper. And Jamar Chase, like I know he signed a big deal, but he can't be happy about this. I don't know. The Bengals are just a crap show. You know what I mean, man?
Yeah, it's tough. Nobody ever wants to see that, but I don't know. When everybody's telling you you need to protect your quarterback, and then he gets hurt, it's like, well, kind of told you.
Yeah, exactly. So, guys, like I said, Browning, he's played a lot. He's had a lot of starts for the Bengals. And the key, where I'm going to get to here in a second, the key is he knows the system. So he's not some, he's been in the system. He's not some new head coach, new coordinator teaching something different. He knows the system. He had three touches and two touches and three interceptions. One of those interceptions, Jamar Chase admitted that it was his fault, but still, he had two touchdowns, three picks, and he brought him back to win the game last week. It was 18 seconds left. He did a reach over to QB sneak. He got the touchdown. Boom, they won the game. So he shows that he knows this system and he's willing to sling it. Um, my big concern with the Bengals, other than Joe Burrow being hurt, is this rushing attack is god awful. Chris Brown or Chase Brown, yeah, Chase Brown.
Yes.
He has 37 carries for 90 yards. That's a 2.4 carry average. That is god awful. Another guy who's picked like in the second round in like fantasy, that has to change. If you're gonna protect your quarterback like they should have with Joe Burrow, what happens? They should have protected a running game. A running game protects your quarterback and opens things for the wide receivers. No, this guy's playing like garbage. They don't have a good backup behind him. There's no Zach Moss. There's no who they used to have a lot Mixon. There's no that. So it's just Chase Brown. He's been looking not great. He's looking awful. And before that, Sherman Stewart, their first round pick, the defensive end, he is doubtful for this game. Official doubtful. He's probably not going to play. Pay attention when it comes up. So they have nobody really helping Hendrickson out. So their defense is going to be kind of exposed, if you will. And the other backup quarterback, Mr. Carson Wentz, which, Adam, correct me if I'm wrong here. When I heard that JJ McCarthy got hurt, I'm like, that actually might be good for the Vikings. Now I know Carson Wentz doesn't know the playbook yet, and that is something, but he's been on six different teams in 6 years. He's played with a lot of different playbooks, but you know what? The way McCarthy looked for the majority of the Bears game and against the Falcons, he does not look NFL ready.
No, I totally agree with you. And I mean, what's great for a quarterback? A Hall of Fame wide receiver. He's gonna chuck it up to Jefferson. I don't know,
And
Mays.
Addison's back. I believe Addison's back.
Oh, is
Oh, no,
he?
he's spending 3 games. He's gonna play next week. I'm sorry.
Okay, okay. Either way, you're right. It might be good. The Vikings have a good roster, and I think if Wentz can just be a serviceable, journeyman pro quarterback, it might be enough to get the rest of the team going.
Yeah, that was a good signing by them. McCarthy's going to be out probably to 2 to 5 weeks. I saw with that sprained ankle or knee, I believe. So I know it might be a godsend. And staying on injuries, Aaron Jones was put on the IR, so he's not going to play. So Jordan Mason's going to be leading the running back room. They have I always forget their backup though. They did send Kai Akers, but Cam Akers is on the practice squad. He's probably going to be from the practice squad to the Vikings on probably the day of the game or Saturday. So Cam Akers might get some work, but so Mason is going to be the lead back. But losing Jones is a big hit because Jones, he caught some miraculous passes in that Bears game for them, and he's a good passing catch and a good running back. And Van Ginkel is questionable, another guy who gets after the quarterback, and Harrison Smith, their safety, are questionable. So pay attention to that injury report before this game starts. You know, I just some quick tidbits for you here, you guys. The Vikings are ranked 30th in passing. They average 127 yards on JJ McCarthy, so that's terrible. So that's why I said Carson Wentz might be a godsend for them. The O line has been not good as well. They've been banged up. There's only one offensive lineman out of the whole five guys, only one who ranks who ranks among the top 60 in pass block win rate. Everybody else is out of the top 60 or in out of the top 100. So it's like they are not doing great, and they're not doing a good job protecting JJ McCarthy and probably not Carson Wentz. So, dude, injured quarterbacks. Both these teams are not doing great against the run. Who do you got, man? Who do you feel? This is a tough one.
It's ugly, but I think the Vikings defense is better. So I think they're going to get after it harder. I don't love it, but I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Yeah, that's where I come to too. It's like, if you're gonna have two backup quarterbacks, what can you rely on, right? Chase Brown has not shown he could be good. Chase Brown has been bad. I know he'll probably pick up young guy real quick, but I can't trust anybody besides Hendrickson, the defensive end. I think if Carson Wentz is competent and he plays, no turnover football, Jay Jetta is gonna just run all over him. I'm sure Chase is gonna get his too. But I think Jay Jet's Jefferson is just going to kill this team, and so I'm going to take the Vikings guys as well. It's going to be I don't know, it's going to be interesting with these backup quarterbacks. My confidence is not in Carson Wentz, but is more confident in this defense to get after Browning and cause turnovers like he did last week. So let's now go to position of this next game. Sticking with the Bengals division, we have the Steelers versus the Patriots, with the Steelers being fair by 1.5 and the over under being 44.5. The Steelers, they've been bipolar. They score a bunch of points against the Jets. They look like, Aaron Rodgers not doing so bad, but where is the vaunted Pittsburgh defense? They have been looking like, I mean, I made this to make sure in my notes. They look like they're getting old. It looks like age is catching up a bit. I have it right here. The defense allowed 63 points in the last two games. I mean, you have to start asking yourself, okay, they're coming off a blowout loss to Seahawks. Seahawks threw Pitts just killed them 31-17. Um, is TJ Watt, are the injuries catching up? Is Casey Hayward, are his injuries catching up? Is Ramsey, did he lose a step? Like, this is something you have to ask yourself. I know Patrick McQueen is young, but how come Queen, sorry. So, I mean, I don't get it. Like, Mike Tomlin's team was known for defense, and they're letting the Jets drop 32. The Jets they barely had any breathing against last week, and they let the Seahawks, who has Sam Darnold, who's very inconsistent, drop 30 on them too. So, dude, their defense is looking like it's not a strength anymore.
No, this whole organization's kind of crumbling, I think. I mean, bringing in Rodgers and making some of the moves that they've made have been pretty short-sighted and signs that they're kind of throwing it all in for one last ride. And I just don't think they have the horsepower this season. I think it's going to be an ugly, ugly send-off for Tomlin.
Yeah, and you know what? There's a little me thinks that they kind of kept Tomlin around because no, they signed Aaron Rodgers so they could keep that Tomlin record going, where he's always
Hmm.
have a winning season. It's like great, you have a winning season. Like, did you win? Did you win a playoff game or did you get in the playoffs? No,
No, you stay in team purgatory, winning 8 to 10 games, getting bad draft picks, and never really changing. Like,
exactly.
so
So that concerns me. Their offense looks good. Metcalf, he's going to produce. The guy's a beast. You want to see a little bit more after him. I like their tight end room. Smith and Fairmouth, good 1-2 punts, actually, really solid. But they have to get more out of the running back room. Warren, like I've said it before, complimentary back in my opinion. Um, and the other kid they drafted, Johnson, you're not really getting anything from him. He's behind Kenneth Gainwell. You're not getting anything really from these guys. So their running back room is not good in my opinion. I think it's the bottom 10 right now. Maybe it'll get better, but I'm not seeing anything that it would, um, you know, um, I don't see anything that it would, because another concern of mine is, excuse me, is that um, Warren leads them in receiving yards and he leads them in rushing yards. When you have DK Metcalf and Austin, you don't want your running back. He leads their team with 108 yard receiving. You think Metcalf would have 100 yards in one of these games, And Warren, he only has 85 rushing yards after 2 games. That's not good off of 25 carries. That's like 2 yards and so whatever a carry. So the running back room is awful. So, Aaron Rodgers looks like he had to play Superman. I know he's distributing the ball well, but keep that in mind. The defense looks old. The running back room is not so great. And why is not Metcalf leaving this team and receiving? Are they just double teaming Metcalf because they have nothing else to worry about from this offense? Like I said, I like their tight ends, but you know, I'm not really liking any of their anything from them right now offensively. Let's get to the Patriots real quick here. They got their first win against the Dolphins. It was a really give and go game. I mean, it was actually a fun game in that fourth quarter where the Dolphins ran back a punt return, and then the next play, the Patriots run a kick return back for a touchdown. So it was back to back special teams touchdowns, and that pitted ahead of them. So that's good for any Patriot fans. Drake May had a really good game, 3 touchdowns. That really helped you out in fantasy. Um, Stevenson had his best game so far. I'm glad they're getting him going because I didn't like what I saw from the rookie. He had his 142 total yards receiving and rushing. It's good to see him in the receiving yards. Defense has 9 sacks, so they're getting after the quarterback. But most importantly, Christian Gonzalez, their star corner, he is practiced for the first time since I believe July. So that's good for them because their secondary is not looking too good.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I don't know what shape he's going to be in when he gets back, but yeah, I like the Patriots overall.
Yeah, and like I said, big news. They needed him to come in. Christian Gonzalez. Their passing defense has been horrid. They've uh, uh, just like the Steelers. They let the Dolphins drop 27 on them. Dolphins have weapons, but still and they let the Raiders drop 20 on them. So Gonzalez, if he plays, really great. So, dude, the Pittsburgh are fair by 1.5 points. It's in Patriots. I have no idea. I was surprised that the Patriots were a home dog, and the over under is 44.5. Who do you got?
I'm going to keep rolling with the Patriots. May looked good last week. I think if their defense can tighten up a little bit, I'm just not scared of the Steelers right now. And the Patriots have been playing all right. So it's not a
Yeah.
sexy pick, but I'm sticking with them.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna take the Pittsburgh. I'm gonna take the Steelers only because of why? The kicker. I think Boswell could probably keep him in this game, and he could probably have like three. Maybe he could kick a game-winning field goal or something like that. It's not something I'm really confident about, but I'm gonna take the Steelers to cover the 1.5 points. Just on the kickers because I'm not trusting this Patriots kicker. And talk about kickers. Let's talk about that Colts game, the leverage that the Broncos, it was 6 yarder. He missed it by a mile. He freaking, kicked it right of the uprights, but they did something called leverage, and yeah, and then they get it in the 45 field goal. He kicks a 45 field goal and wins the game for the Colts. That was kind of crazy. I maybe that leverage thing's there for a reason. I don't get it, but hey, whatever. I know the Broncos were pissed off. So we got the Colts versus the lonely, lonely, lonely Titans, which surprisingly, I have no idea how this is. Tell me if this makes sense to you. The Colts are favored by only 3.5 points, and the over-under is 43.5. They opened at 3.5. Now it's 4.5, but I'm pretty sure you could probably still get 3.5. But I got it when it opened at 3.5 points. Um, they're coming off a lucky win against the Broncos. Danny Dimes, that guy is looking like an MVP candidate, my man. He has total 5 touchdowns and no turnovers, so that's really great for the Colts because I don't think they're probably expecting this much from him. Jonathan Taylor, the guy is looking like a vintage. Remember 2 years ago or 3 years ago when he led the whole league in rushing? He is looking like that part again. He has 200 total yards. He had 220 yards against the Broncos. I mean, yeah. So he killed that vaunted Broncos defense. He killed them for 200 total yards and a touchdown. Everyone's getting involved in their offense. The tight end Warren, he looks good. So the
Okay.
defense needs to get after the quarterback more. They just have 3 sacks in 2 games. You want to see a little bit more from them. I know they have some guys there, but I'm not really confident in their pass rush. So maybe this will be a good test for them because the Titans, the Titans offensive line has been god awful. They have allowed the offensive line has allowed 11 sacks. The Tennessee Titans. So Cam Ward has no time. This team is obviously rebuilding, but I thought the offensive line would have held up just a bit longer. And Cam Ward's only throwing 50% of his passes. So he's throwing like 50-50 balls. The offensive line can't block worth a damn. And the only thing positive I can see for this team that's Tony Pollard out of nowhere is having to actually he's actually not doing bad. And I'm pretty sure they might trade him at the end of the season. So, dude, and their defense, which the Titans usually can hang their hat on, you would think that they could get after the quarterback. Like I thought, they only have 2 sacks themselves. So, dude, this is a quick one for me. I'll go first since you win a couple of times. I'm taking the Colts to cover 3.5. They're looking good. I don't understand this number 3.5. A little me feels like this is a sucker's bet that Vegas wants you to take this number. I just don't see how any different. I see nothing positive from the Tennessee Titans. I think they could run the ball a bit on the Colts, and I think maybe if Cam Ward might have maybe he has his best game, but I just can't see it. I can see Jonathan Taylor really run through them, so I'm taking the Colts to cover 3.5 points.
Yep, I think this is an easy one too. I don't know. My mentality lately with betting is like I want to keep betting on teams that are doing great. I know that's a crazy thing, but I don't want to just bet that all of a sudden the Colts are going to be terrible and the Titans are going to take a big step forward. It's too many leaps. So that's an easy one for me. Colts.
Yeah, same here. I don't know why this is 3.5. If the Colts win, you know what? Good for them. Surprise us, right? You know what I mean? Because I just don't see it. I don't see how they do. Cam Ward is not looking so great. Rookie team's rebuilding, and their offensive line's allowing everybody and their mother to sack the quarterback. So both give us the Colts to cover the 3.5 points. All right, and this next game, I think it's the game of the week. I truly do believe this game of the week. I'm not just saying that because I'm an Eagles fan, but it's the battle. Last week we had the battle of the Super Bowl, the rematch, and now we have the rematch of the battle of the NFC North Championship. We have the Rams coming to Philadelphia, my Eagles, and the Eagles being favored by 3.5, and the over/under being 44.5. Let me just start real quick, Adam, with a rant here, okay? I am sick and tired of hearing about this goddamn tush push, okay? These whiners, these complainers, these babies, they complain and complain and complain. Now, have the Eagles, did they false start before that play? Yes, they did. But all these complainers, like Nick Wright, all these little babies who are mad because we shoved up their butts last year, an Eagles guy who breaks down all the Eagles plays, he showed going back to last year how many teams were of the defender, the D lineman helmets were ahead of the NFL football. Right there's neutral zone infraction, but they never call that either. But nobody wants to talk about that. They don't want to talk about how the helmet, when they're laid down, they never called it. The guy broke it down. He's on TikTok. He breaks down all these Eagles games. He's smart as hell. I'm a little biased because he's an Eagles fan, obviously, but I'm sick and tired of it. Hey, you know what? I don't care. Hey, by the way, who's tried it? Everybody has tried it. This just the second week. There's multiple teams that tried the tush push, and a lot of them failed. So that goes to show you, it's Eagles are just really good at it. Sorry that we have a
Bad for the
quarterback.
game. Bad for the game. It should be gone. I stand by the Packers' decision to try and ban it, and I will do that every year for the rest of time until it's gone.
It's bad for the game.
Yeah, it's boring as hell. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people say that like the formations are usually illegal. They jump early. Uh, Something needs to change. I hate it. They have the best roster in the league. They don't need to be humping down the field. They can play normal football.
Well, I I'm a big fan of it. I think it's revolutionary. I think it's
Yeah.
one of the best innovative plays ever created in the
Since the leather helmet, we're gonna put them back on and go at it. Whatever.
All right, so let's talk about this game. I think this is gonna be an awesome game. I'm gonna have to. I'm definitely gonna be pumped up for it. Let's talk about the Rams. The Rams are looking really great. They're coming off a blowout win against the Titans. It is the Titans, but that's what you do with teams like that. You blow them out. Um, Great all around team win for them. They sacked Ward 5 times. Nakua and Adams are looking like a good 1-2 punch. Like Adams, I didn't think Adams was like he was like like he was getting old, but but I still think he still had some juice. So and Puka Nakua, the guy
It's a beast.
arguably top 10 wide receiver now. It's like the guy could catch anything going his way. Stafford looks good. I kept on worrying about the back problems, so maybe the back problems are not there. Um, and they just everywhere. Their interior offensive linemen, I'm a little worried about. They're a little bit beat up there, and I think they're gonna have to double team Jalen Carter. I mean, everybody does, but I think they're gonna have to particularly pay more attention to him because they're a little shaky there. They're a little injured, so keep an eye out for that. But also just pump the brakes on the Rams right now, okay? They're gaining a lot of hype. Look who they played. The Texans have a terrible offense. They've looked like garbage and they have a crappy offensive line. They play in the Titans with a rookie quarterback with even a worse offensive line. So they have all these numbers on defense that look good, but go look at the teams they're playing. The Texans have the worst ranked offense in all of the NFL, and they played them. Okay, and I think the Texans will do better, but they need to get better, healthier. So just pump the brakes on the Rams. They played two crappy offensive teams, but like I said, with the teams they've played, they looked great. Now, anything you want to say about the Rams, man? I know before I jump into the Eagles a little bit more.
No, the offense looks great though. The Stafford, Nakua, and Adams trio is pretty deadly right now.
Yeah, and like I said, Stafford's killing it. I think they probably want to see a little bit from Kyrie Williams, but he has 132 rushing yards and a touchdown, so he's pleased.
Yeah,
He's doing all right. But Nakua's killing it. The Young has 3 sacks on their team. He looked like he's a beast, like
I,
he was last year.
I will say on the defense, they have a good defensive line, but I think they're more of a pass rushing defensive line, not a run stopping defensive line,
True,
which
and
is huge in this game.
yeah, Barkley was ripping 60 yarders and like 50 yarders last year. So it's like good point there. Now, back to the Eagles. I talk about the tush push. Okay, it's gonna happen. I hope the Eagles do it 20 times this game. Okay, just to make it, just to get piss people off, but also uh, I'll talk about things I don't like about the Eagles right now. The passing attack, like the passing game has been um you know, it's been not so great. And I think it has a little bit to do with that the new offensive coordinator. Now, I'm going to give him a little more grace, a little more time to be better because I know Eagles fans, we all know this in 2023 when they internally brought in that offensive coordinator, he looked terrible. He looked god awful. So, I know it kind of seems like that and I'm leaning towards that too, but let's give him a couple more games, a few more games and so let's see if he could turn around because that's the weakness of the Rams. If you could get after their corners because their front seven, and like the Packers, it's meant to get after you and pass into situations. But if the offensive line for the Eagles, which I would say is the best offensive line in all bit football, if they could protect those corners who are not that, they're good, not great, average, above average, they'll get torn up by AJ Brown, and Devontae Smith. But that's if they actually pass. But like Adam said, though, they've been gashed in the running game, and that's not the strong suit for the Rams. So I'm happy if they get we if I'm happy if Hurts throws for 100 yards again, but Barkley kills them. I'll take that any day of the week. So just remind you, I'm not too happy with the passing game, but just remember the Eagles passing game wasn't that great last year, and they won a Super Bowl for it. I'm also not I'm also worried about their second cornerback, Ed Jackson. He is not a good second corner, in my opinion. I think they need to replace him either via trade or the guy we traded for, Bennett from the Raiders. Give him a chance because you're going against Adams and Puka Nakua. I'm hoping Cooper DeJean and Mitchell follow them and let somebody, maybe the rookie we drafted in the 5th round, or Jackson play slot corner because I think he'll get torn up by these receivers. So we need to get after Matthew Stafford. Um, quick things I like though. I think Howie might have hit a home run with Campbell and Makuba, the safety who intercepted the Chiefs. Other than that, he's been playing great in both games. So I think he did really well picking those guys, and it's paying dividends now, especially Makuba game that almost that pick six.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Eagles are a great team. There is still just something that it feels weird when I watch them. It is like that offensive dysfunction of 2023, like you mentioned. I guess we're still waiting to find out if the Eagles on offense are just a slight downgrade from last year, or if they do kind of have a little bit of a crisis on their hands that they have to figure out.
Right. And I think this is going to be the biggest test, even more than the Kansas City Chiefs, because the Chiefs offense was putrid and they had no wide receivers. Now we're going against a team that has a bunch of weapons and they have a killer front seven. So this is the biggest test, I believe, yet in this season. So another thing I'm a little concerned about real quick before we get a prediction is that the lack of sacks. The lack of sacks that they have is not so great. Now, I know Carter was out the first game and they had more sacks in the second game, and Carter opened the lanes for damn near everybody. But with Carter back and Zadarius Smith, who played all over the field last week, don't forget. Now we have three linebackers who are playing great, and Zadarius Smith could get after the quarterback. He had 9 sacks last year. For his age, that's pretty good. So with all that being said, man, this is the biggest test, I believe, for the Eagles. I'll go first. It's in Philadelphia. I'm I'm taking the Eagles. I am taking the Eagles. I think that the Rams are now go ahead. This is their big test. It's going to be a big game. They do get after the quarterback. Pay attention to 2 teams they played before. They had terrible offensive lines. The Eagles arguably have the best offensive line. They have the best tackle duels in all of football. That's not even arguable. And they have the best running back, arguably, in the NFL. So I think this is the Rams' biggest test, and I think this is the Eagles' big test. But I think Jalen Hurts, just like that game in the NFC Championship, he's going to take over. He's going to be running the ball. He could get away from those pass rushers. People, don't forget that. Stroud is not a fast quarterback. He's not that. He's not a running quarterback. He got sacked. Cam Ward, he got sacked because he had the worst offensive line of football. So I think the Eagles hold it, and I think it's going to be a 27-21 kind of game around that range. So I think the Eagles running game and the offensive line does enough to pull them ahead, and they win this game and cover.
Well, I know it's in Philly, and I guess I don't care if those degenerate fans are throwing batteries and slim fast out on the field, whatever the hell they're doing. I think Matt Stafford's going to come in there and start slinging it,
Oh,
and the
dude,
Eagles aren't going to be able to hold up. You give me Stafford against Hurts, I'm taking Stafford.
that's just no logic bias right there. Just
Gambling, baby.
kidding. All right, guys. Well, there you go. I'm taking my Philadelphia Eagles to prove a point that they're gonna just bum rush the Rams, and they're gonna put it to them. They're gonna take this hatred they're getting from the tush push and just funnel it to this game, and they're just gonna murder. I hope they run
Right
the
up that
tush push.
center's butt. They're going to funnel it right up that center's butt.
And I
Twice as
hope.
hard.
Hey, they're going to come back and they're going to show everybody that they're the team to be. Okay. So wait. So, all right, guys. So give me the Eagles and give Adam the points with the Rams. And let's get after another big game we want to talk about. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys versus the Chicago Bears, staying in the AFC East and staying in Adam's NFC North. I mean, what can you say about the Bears? I don't know. It's like it's like you have so much hope for the Bears. Well, people I know have so much hope for the Bears, and it's like hoping, I don't know. It's like hoping a drug addict gets off the drugs.
Yeah, I mean, these are like the 2 most delusional fan bases in the league for the last decade or 2. The Bears are always 3 tiers below the Cowboys, but they always think they're gonna be good, and something always happens, it blows up, and the Bears' defense it's in shambles. Caleb Williams has been okay, on and off, but man, I don't know that Ben Johnson knew what kind of shitstorm he was getting into, but they are reeling. So at some point they'll bounce back. They're going to have some good weeks, but I truly don't understand this spread. I'm not understanding what's going on.
Right. So the Cowboys are coming to Chicago. The Cowboys are only favored by, was it 1.5 points, and the
That's
over under is
Yep.
50.5. So they are saying Vegas, this is going to be high scoring and it's going to be close. Which to my logic is like, if this is going to be a blowout, I kind of lean towards more the Cowboys.
For sure. I mean, Prescott is slinging the rock. The guy's throwing dimes. He's got an awesome wide receiver duo. I don't know that Pickens has really been dominant yet, but I
He,
could
he's
really
he,
see things opening up for them.
Yeah, he still draws attention because like you can't just let him go
He
because he
does.
can go over the top. Yeah. And
He does.
Javonte Williams, the guy they got for that 1 year heap from the Denver Broncos, he's looking damn good. He has
He looks good.
151 yards, yeah, 140 51 yards rushing touchdown, and he did kill it in the receiving game last week. And this is what I get with the Bears. My concern with the Chicago Bears is that they played the Vikings real tough. The Vikings have a solid defense. They were giving McCarthy the business. And then it unravels in the second half, and they're like, "Oh, okay, they lost me 3 points." So then they play another divisional game in the Lions, and the the hinges came off the door, the wheels came off the car, the sinks fell off. I don't know 52 points the Lions dropped on them, unbelievable. I mean, I played against Jared Goff in fantasy, and I was like screaming at the Bears, like, "Do something, just please!" Like they have no heartbeat. Like I don't know, that was an embarrassing game for them.
It is. And now with their corner still out, right? Jalen Johnson,
Oh
he's
yeah,
doubtful.
he's. They're saying for the season it's a bad groin injury, and he's their
Yeah.
number one corner. And Kyle Gordon, their slot, he's injured as well. He's questionable this game. So you're telling me you're going in with Stevenson and Jalen Jones, the other corner is hurt too. So they're going in with one good corner, Stevenson, who you got tore up by the Lions, by the way. So he did not look great. And then you're going for your backups. Backups are going to be the other corner. So there is not a lot to like here with their
No,
defense.
they're a team with no identity. They're lost right now. They're in shambles. The Cowboys have an identity. They're gonna play offense and they're gonna score points.
Exactly. And Grady Jarrett, the big guy they got from the Falcons, he is not producing whatsoever. He's supposed to like, I was actually like good signing about the Bears, and he is not producing whatsoever. Go look at his stats. He's like maybe a couple tackles or some shit. It's like it is not good in that game last week. So he looks god awful. I mean, I guess you could hang your hat on Romeo Dusney is doing a little better than I anticipated. He leads the team in
Mhm.
receiving yards. They DJ Moore, he's Mr. Reliable, so you can rely on him. Offensive line is not terrible, like it was last year, better than average. But Caleb Williams is actually looking good. He's not looking terrible. He's looking, good to okay. 417 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and only one pick. So it's not terrible. It's not like he's throwing turnovers left and right. Um, their running back room is garbage. Swift, I don't care. I mean, they need to go get somebody in a trade or draft somebody in the first round or sign some in the offseason because this running back, Swift is a complimentary back. He is not a running back. Now let's switch over to the Cowboys. They're coming off a good win against the Giants. It was a sock 'em back and forth 40-37. I anticipate that game was going to be a lot. The score is going to be less, but they came into the Giants. They scored left and right. They have a kicker who is Mr. I think he's the most accurate kicker after like beyond 50 yards or something like that. So that's a weapon right there. And you said it yourself. Dak Prescott is slinging the rock. He threw for 361 yards against the Giants. I think it says more about the Giants than anything. And they have CD Lamb. I think CD Lamb is going to tear this Bears secondary up. I don't know. I have no confidence in anybody on that whole secondary. I don't care if they bring in somebody now on the on the free agent list. I don't think they can stop him. I think Lamb is going to tear this team out. And like I said, Javante Williams is looking great. And Pay attention to the injury report for the Dallas Cowboys because Bland is still questionable. He is their best corner, and they need him going they need at least one of these guys on DJ Moore or those that to take pressure off that kind of like weak front seven. Not the greatest front seven, but but dude, I've been ranting enough a lot. Um, I'll go first. I just don't know how this number is 1.5. I don't see how this 1.5. Now, maybe Vegas knows something we don't, but if you're telling me it's a 50-50 game almost, then give me the better team with the better offense and the better quarterback. I'm just gonna take it. To me, that's just like don't overthink it. Just look what your eyes tell you. The Bears, like you said, look awful. Their defense is everywhere but getting after the quarterback. And the give me CD Lamb to tear this secondary apart. I mean, I think you're going the same way here.
I am, and I don't usually look at prop bets, but I would take any prop bet there is on CeeDee Lamb. I think the Cowboys are one of the few teams that just funnel their offense through their star wide receiver, where other teams should do it more often. But Lamb is going to get fed and then fed some more. And I just don't see how the Bears will hang in there. The only reason the Giants hung in there last week is because Russell's amazing at the deep ball, and sometimes he can just chuck it up with his eyes closed, and magic happens. So the, Caleb Williams is not going to do that, and the Cowboys are going to crush him. I am going to save it for my best picks, but I'm going to move the line on this wildly.
I wouldn't blame you because I don't know how this game is 1.5, and I don't know how that's 50. Like, I think the Dallas Cowboys has a better chance of stopping the Bears, and the Bears have a chance of stopping the Cowboys. So I'm with you. I think this is going to be like, honestly, wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys put 30 on them, and it's like 30 to 14, 13, 20, 30, 20, 21, if that. So yeah, I'm with you, man. Bears, I have no confidence to keep up the scoring with the Cowboys. So give me the Cowboys to cover, and like you just heard Adam. Adam said give him that, and so you could take it to the bank, maybe. Give us the Cowboys to cover the 1.5 points. And sticking in Texas, or sticking with the Texas team, let's briefly talk about the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Um, this two playoff teams, playoff Texans. The Texans have been looking not so great. Their offense is ranked literally the worst offense in the league. Like, you can't blame everything on CJ Stroud, because CJ Stroud offensive line is basically rebuilt. They have four different starters than last year, and they gave away Tunsil. C Chubb, to my surprise, is doing actually pretty decent. So good for him. It's just Nico Collins right now and Schultz at tight end. But little breaking news here: Christian Kirk is practicing since he got hurt. So Christian Kirk, this guy they signed from the Jaguars, if they could get him on there, that helps out Nico Collins and the rest of this offensive game. And Braxton Berrios is good too. He is good slot if he still has it, and he's a speed demon. But what you can't blame him. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Texans versus the Jaguars. The Jaguars are favored by 1.5, and the over/under is 44.5. Like I said, the offense needs to step up. And I told you guys they have one of the best front sevens. You saw, right, Hunter, and how they're getting after the Vikings. They could just get after, like, and you like there's weapons all over the field on for the defense. But it's this offense. It's this offense. Nick Chubb, he's doing what he can with those knees. And Nico Collins, the guy's the only pretty much the only guy in offense. But Nico Collins only has 77 receiving yards in 2 games. He just went over 50 yards just last week. So they're not getting nothing from the receivers. Like I said, worst scoring offense in the league. They've only converted 4 out of 18 third downs in 2 games, and they only have one passing touchdown. And the offensive line has allowed 6 sacks. So it's not so looking good here, man, on this offense.
It's not. It's a shame because Nico Collins is awesome. He makes these
Yeah.
crazy catches every week. But CJ Stroud he's getting beat down, and you can't continue to do that. He's still a young quarterback too. I know he had that really good season 2 years ago or whatever it was, but
Yeah.
these guys can't take this kind of beating physically and mentally. So the offense is just really, really struggling.
Yeah, and they've always had this problem. Even when they had David Carr went back in the day, David Carr was getting sacked 50, 60 times a season. So it's like the Texans can never get the offensive line right. But like I said, we don't have to talk about their front, their defense. They get after the quarterback like nobody's business. And Will Anderson and Hunter, arguably the two guys, the best in the business to get after the quarterback. They have guys everywhere. So, and they have one of the best corners in Stingley. So I have no problem with that. But it's that offense. The offense needs to take a step up. Now let's talk about the Jaguars. The Jaguars, that loss, I thought they had it in the bag, but they lose to the Bengals after that, basically that game-winning touchdown by Browning. You know, they had it. Looks like they were going to win the game, but so they fought really tough, and they won last week against the pitiful Panthers. But hey, they almost went 2-0. That's what I'm saying. Um, you know, I like what I'm seeing from the running back room. They got rid of Bigsby, but and Travis Etienne with Cohen, the new head coach. That's looked like a good combination. He's kind of like re-jumped his career from last year. And the other guy they got too, and Tutton, he's looking, that rookie. He's actually looking really great. You get these guys in open space, they can make room for like they can just make guys miss left and right and get yards. But what I'm concerned about is this. I don't know if you saw, man, but last week, Brian Thompson Jr., one, he's not playing so great, but two, last week, dude, he was like bailing on catches. Like he was like scared or knowing the defender's gonna come and just faltering and not going after the ball. There was a fumble or could have been a fumble, and he just literally didn't go after it. He just watched it like jumped up and the defender got it. It's like there's something going up. Like I don't know if he's being lazy, he's being scared, but dude, he is not looking good so far this year.
I don't know either. I had him in a lot of fantasy leagues last year, so I knew he was scoring a ton of points, but I still think he overproduced compared to his skill level. I think he was a bit overhyped coming into this year, but all those extra issues are just another layer on top. So I don't know if he doesn't trust Lawrence, if he's throwing him into bad positions, or what's going on there. But I think if he doesn't get right in the next game or two, there's he's going to have a problem.
Yeah, and I want to see more from their defense too. But you know, Dwami Brown is leading them in receiving when you have Brian Thompson Jr. Like that shouldn't happen
And
at all.
Hunter,
And Hunter, yeah, and Hunter. I think Jaguars are gonna be successful. They need to stick to being run the offense through the running backs because Travis Etienne is really great. Travis Lawrence is doing better, but he does have 3 interceptions on with 4 touchdowns. So you want to see that be a little have that gap grow a little bit more touchdowns instead of have those interceptions right there. Excuse me. So, dude, I mean, we have another tight game here, another 1.5 prediction. Who do you got, man?
I hate this game. Um, But I'm leaning towards the Texans defense. I don't like the dysfunction of the Jaguars offense. I do like their running back room. And as I'm saying it, I'm not loving this bet, but I'm gonna roll with the Texans.
Yeah, I need to catch up to you in the in our against the spread here, but I'm with you. I like the Texans anyway, and my sole purpose is this: they're 0-2. Their backs are against the wall. 0-3 teams have like I think like only like a handful of teams, maybe even less, that make the playoffs starting 0-3. They need to win this game. They were a playoff team from last year. They are getting some reinforcements back on the receiving room. But this defense, it's too good to be this bad. It is too good to be this bad. They're not the Browns, okay? The Browns have Joe Flacco. CJ Stroud's way ahead of him, and they have better weapons on this team. So I think give me I mean, I'll take this money line actually and get a good number, get even money on my bet
Hmm.
here. So this is actually a good time to make money if anybody wants to bet this game to make some good even money. So Bo, give us the Texans to win outright. Do you like the money line?
Yeah.
Money line, and to like I said, the defense is too good. So give me the team with the back against the wall, the Texans. So with that, let's jump a little. Let's speed it up a little bit here, real quick, before we get into the later games. I mean, the Sunday night games and the Monday night game. Let's briefly go over the Jets versus the Buccaneers. Jets, they fell down to earth, like we said. In particular, Adam said it's like they had that great game with the Steelers, but I think that says more about the Steelers defense than the Jets. They look god awful. Even before Fields um, got hurt, he was terrible at throwing the ball. He was just missing people left and right. So if you guys don't know, the Fields is injured. Oh yeah, so I keep on skipping this. We have the Jets versus the Buccaneers, with the Buccaneers being favored by 6.5 and the over being 43.5 points. They're coming off embarrassing loss to the Bills. Bills put it to them. They put the hammer on them. Um, Tyrod Taylor is now going to be the quarterback. That might be a godsend, actually. I like Justin Fields. He brings a little extra juice with his legs, but then you have to deal with this inconsistent passing. If you want a team that could get the ball to the weapons like Garrett Wilson, Tyrod Taylor could get there. He has a wealth of starting experience with the Bills, with the Giants, and now with the Jets. So I think it's actually, I think that the Jets will have a better passing game for this. They have a good running game. We all know that. Brees Hall, Allen. Anything you want to say from the Jets, man? Nothing much to say about them.
No, but Tyrod Taylor has come in and played well for a lot of teams in a pinch. The Jets have a decent roster, but man, I don't know. It's gonna be
Yeah,
rough.
it is going to be rough. And like I said, it's yeah. How can you trust this? How can you trust this offense? It's like there's no consistency with the quarterback room. And just a brief, let everybody know the Jets are beat up everywhere. Jermaine Johnson, he is hurt. He's questionable. Tony Adams, he is hurt. He's questionable. The starting slot corner, Michael Carter II, he's questionable. He's banged up. Jay Taufa and Josh Reynolds, the wide receiver. These are all guys who have a lot of playing time for this team, and they're all coming to beat up from last week, and they're coming beat up this week. So keep an eye on that. Now let's come off another team that's beat up, the Buccaneers. They come off a win, won by the skin of their teeth, 20-19 against the Texans. Tight game. Baker Mayfield was running for his life around there from the Texans because they were getting after him. Um, but like I said, they're beat up like the Jets. They lost their starting right guard. They just said it yesterday or today. Their right guard is out for the season. Their left tackle is still hurt, and their left tackle is one of the best left tackles of all football. Their right tackle is hurt going to this game. They had to move their starting center, pit him at left tackle. Then they took the starting left guard and they pit him at center. So there are so many moving parts in this offensive line that I'm not liking, especially a defensive line like who have Quinn Williams like the Jets, who could kind of get after the quarterback. So just keep that in mind. Their offensive line is beat up, and they now just lost their starting right guard for the season. And one little staying on the injury list, they lost their one of their best defensive linemen that gets after the quarterback in Clancy. He tore his pec. He is also out for the year, so that is a big loss as well. So keep that in mind. We all know the Buccaneers have a great offense. Mike Evans, Godwin is probably not going to come back for this game, so he's still hurt. That rookie that Adam told you guys, I cannot pronounce his name. He is
Egbuka.
Abuka. There you go. He is great. And they have a great running back room, arguably one of the best running back rooms in all football. So we have to say too much of the offense. Great quarterback, good running back room, good star wide receiver, and looks like a good rookie. And Kate Otten, really good tight end. So, man, how you feeling this one? Tyrod Taylor, beat up defense for the Jets. Baker Mayfield offense with a beat up offensive line.
Yeah, injuries are hard for me to judge how teams are going to respond and depth pieces. But Baker Mayfield, that was one of the most fun QB performances I've seen in a long time last week. He just gritted through it and put that team on his back. It was super impressive. And Bucky Irving is awesome. I love watching him run. So I'm struggling a little bit with the points here, but I don't know. The Buccaneers, especially if Igbuka, he's questionable as well. So they may only really have Mike Evans to throw to.
And they got Sauce Gardner will be shadowing him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm leaning towards the Jets in this one. I don't like the injuries. I don't like the O-line issues. I think Baker's going to put up a valiant performance, but if their O-line's struggling and they can't run the ball well, I don't know. Maybe the Jets could pull out a miracle. So
I tend to be agreeing with you. I think the Jets are going to lean on the running game and keep the Buccaneers offense off the field as much as possible. You're right. Kate On and Mike Evans still good 1-2, even if the Abuka is hurt and he's not playing this game. I expect he'll play, and they have a great running back room. So I think there's gonna be a lot of running in this game, and more particular than usual because they know they got to save the offensive line, and there's no more ask. Go listen to any NFL analyst. There's no more what offensive linemen love to do is like push through the running game. They know they can just charge instead of going backwards like they do in passing on passing down. So I think both teams are going to rely on the offensive lines to go plow through people in the running game. So I think it's going to be close enough because of that reason. So I'm always with you, man. Give me the Jets plus the 6.5. Plus the 6.5 points. And I think Tyrod Taylor is going to be bring actually a little more stability as well. So I think that's a solid play. So our next game, let's keep it rapid fire here. We have the Broncos versus the Chargers. Chargers being favored by 2.5 points, and the over/under being 4.5. 45.5. Broncos, they're coming off a heartbreaking loss to the Colts because of the leverage. Their defense, I'm waiting for it to come together a little bit more. I know their defense looked good against the Titans, but as that is the Titans. The Titans are going to go down to probably one of the worst offensive teams. So them having basically the Colts pit 30 on them, that's not a good sign. They're a lot of beat up too. The defensive player of the year, their number one guy. He went out with an ankle injury, but he was at full practice today, so he looks like he'll play. But the starting safety they got before Niners and the line Greenlaw, I believe they are questionable coming for this game. Yeah, Greenlaw is questionable, so keep an eye out for that. So their defense is not living up to the hype. That's what I'm saying. And you shouldn't let the Colts score that many points on you, in my opinion, when you have this touted defense. Bo Nix looks better. He didn't look so great against the Titans, so he did better in this game. But in my opinion, he needs to stop with the turnovers. He has 4 touchdowns and four turnovers, 3 picks, and I believe 1 fumble. So you know you need to pump the brakes on that. Stop trying to be Superman if you're not Superman just yet. Sometimes you need to be Robin first before you're Batman. So he needs to take a step back on that. And he is not doing good this year so far in 2 games. He Franklin leaves them in receiving yards. And where's Evan Ingram at? They're signing from the tight end. He is playing like he doesn't have a heartbeat anymore. I do not see him on the field. Maybe he's lost a step in his speed, but he is not out there. And I'm not sold in the running back room. G.K. Dobbins is looking good, 30 carries, 139 yards, but I think they're expecting to see more from Harvey, the guy they drafted, because J.K. Dobbins, he is one tweak, one move, one one receiving something to injure himself. So if he gets receiver, they are FUC. They're fucked.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Briefly, what do you think about these Broncos team? They were hyped up, a lot of them, to possibly win the AFC West.
They were, and they're disappointing on both sides of the ball. I think your highlight of Bo Nix's interception is probably because their defense isn't playing up to snuff. Like they were hoping they could have a dominant defense, run the ball, have a guy like Cortland Sutton that's a jump ball wide receiver that makes it easy to for the quarterback. It's kind of like the old Bears strategy with what's his name with Cutler and Alshon Jeffrey and all that
Yeah.
gang. But yeah, the running back room isn't good enough. Um, and they've been underperforming. So until I see him play better, I don't like it.
Same here, man. It's week 2, but Bo Nix needs to calm down those turnovers, or he's going to be like, it's just going to cost him games. And the defense needs to step up so he doesn't have to play Superman because he's not Superman just yet. Um, let's talk about the Chargers. They're looking like dynamite. Looks like they're going to win the AFC West. Since they put away the Chiefs pretty handily, and they put away the Raiders pretty handily. So they're looking great. Even though I'm not a Jim Harbaugh fan. Oh, by the way, Colin Cowherd, you are smoking some good drugs. He went live on his show, brother, and he said that Jim Harbaugh is the best coach ever. I'm not talking about
Oh
now,
God.
ever. And look at this guy. Fox Sports is losing their ass off in ratings, so I think he's just doing this clickbait because they need to gain. Need to have ratings because only him and that Nick Wright show are only doing good. They're getting their
Mhm.
butts kicked by ESPN. But when I heard that, I fell over my work desk. While I was in my office, I flipped over. I'm like, dude, you're rage baiting. Jim Harbaugh has never won a Super Bowl. Oh, he won a Michigan title because he supposedly wasn't cheating. I don't want to get into it. That was nuts. Anyways, Chargers look dynamite, baby. Okay, they look great. This is Herbert's best year so far. He's looking great. But what my concern is this running back room. They drafted that guy, Hampton, and
Hampton.
he looks awful. 23 carries on only 72 yards, 2.9, 3 point yards a carry, maybe if that. So the running rep, and after him is nobody, by the way. They don't have J.K. Dobbins. They don't have the other guy they had, Najee Harris they have, but Najee Harris has been doing
The eyeless
nothing. Like,
wonder.
yeah, yeah. That guy, he's like the bus, but always like because he's from Pick. He got drafted by the Steelers. He's
Mhm.
like the bus, but he's going reverse. It's like he's not the guy is not good. He can't catch the ball either. So after Hampton goes, there's nothing here. Okay. What's surprising to all of us, I think, is that Quentin Johnson, the guy who's always hurt, they drafted him a couple of years ago. 3 touchdowns. He has 150 yards, dude, on 8 receptions. Just 8 receptions. So that means he's been that long ball. He loves that long ball. So Keelan Allen he still looks like Keelan Allen, baby. They're not asking much from him. Still those reliable hands. If he could give them 14 games at the most, if it's a full season, that is a steal for free agency. So and they have McConkey. So that is a good receiving room. So That's what's keeping them above water is this passing game, which everybody thought, because Jim Harbaugh, he loves running the ball. This passing offense is looking dynamite. Herbert, 560 yards, 5 touchdowns, no turnover. So the guy's killing it. Let's talk about their defense. Khalil Mack is hurt, so he's out. He's on the IR. He's going to be out a few weeks. So keep an eye after that. Their defense can still get after the quarterback, and they are still good at, their back seven is good at defending the pass. But hey, their defense so far is only allowing they're only allowing 4.6 yards a play, and that's tied for sixth best in the NFL. So teams are not getting a lot of yards through the air and rushing against this team. So their defense is looking great. So, dude, Broncos coming to LA. Chargers are favored by 2.5, which I'm still surprised at that number. And the over under is 45.5, man. Who do you got?
I got the Chargers easily. Herbert's been looking awesome. I think that connection with Quentin Johnson and Herbert's, finding that deep ball opens up the whole offense. I think Najee Harris is going to get a little bit better. I know he didn't play much in the offseason because of the firework mishap. And they're a overall solid, extremely well coached team. Some would say the best coach team. And I think it's an easy one. I'm going Chargers.
Yeah, man. I can't get there with with Bo Nix just yet. He is being too wild, little crazy. I think I'll take Herbert's leadership. He's on a roll. His veteran presence. I'll take that over everything else. And you know what? This is another good bet. If you think they can win by a field goal and they won the best field goal kickers, there you go. This could be 2023. Boom, you cover. So a solid bet if you want to bet this. I know it looks like a sucker's bet, but I think a lot of the people, the public, if you will, I think they still remember that Denver defense. And right now it's not looking like it's the Denver defense of old. So give us the Chargers to cover the 2.5. Now let's talk about the Saints and the Seahawks. We'll briefly stay quick on this one. This is one of the bigger numbers in the of the slate on Sunday. The Seahawks are favored by 7.5, and the over under is 41.5. Look, what are you going to say about the Saints? They are playing teams tough. That's their defense. They still have some good names on their defense. They kept it in with the 49ers. They covered against the 49ers, actually, I think. And they kept it close, one score game with the Cardinals. They lost by 7 points. But hey, everybody wrote them off. They're covering. They're doing their best. And Spencer Rattler, for all of his, you know, I
All
thought he
that
was going
we
to be
said about him.
yeah, crappy. Yeah. He looks great. 3 touchdown passes for 421 yards on 80
Mhm.
attempts. And no turnovers, no interceptions. So that's really great. I like this connection he has with this tight end and Johnson. They still have weapons. Alvin Kamara is still trying to play Superman, even though I feel like he's a tad slower, a little bit. But they have Rashid Shaheed and Olavi, so there's some weapons here, and they still got their defense. Davis is still good linebacker. They have a decent secondary. So they've been winning games, and they have been looking all right. The Seahawks, they blew the doors off the Steelers, and they have still one of the better young, ferocious defense themselves. That's their bread and butter. You want to? I was surprised actually that the Steelers let Walker and Charbonnet let them. They had a good game against them. Kenneth Walker had 105 yards rushing, and Charbonnet. Well, he didn't actually have that good game. So Walker ran all over them. The rushing game killed the Steelers. But that's what you want to see. You don't want what's his name doing all the work for you, Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold works best with a good running game. He still scares me a bit. He had 2 interceptions against the Steelers, but the running game looked good. Your boy Jackson Smith, that guy looks like a monster. Cooper Cup finally stepped up. I don't know if this says more about the Steelers defense, but Cooper Cup of the old showed up, 7 receptions for 90 yards receiving. That's what you like to see. And a sneaky touchdown by Torrey Horton. So that was a good. They want him to step up for sure. So Steelers, they got that defense. That's their bread and butter. And if they can, that rushing game can stay solid, stay good. and it opens for Sam Darnold for not trying to do too much, because when he does too much, he throws interceptions. So, dude, who do you got? Both these teams have good defenses, but I'll go. This is a massive number, 7.5 points, and the Saints are covering spreads. But in my opinion, um, I think this is the hardest defense the Saints are going to play against. I think this is the biggest the biggest test for Spencer Rattler, if you will. The Cardinals and 49ers defense. The 49ers defense is solid to good, but think the Seahawks defense could be one of the best in the league. And I think Spencer Rattler is going to have his first turnover in this game. So big number. I'm going to take it 7.5. Personally, I'm going to try to get it lower, 6.5, anywhere I can find it. But I'm going to take the Seahawks to cover the 7.5 points in their home team, which is very hard to play in. Seattle is one of the hardest one of the hardest division stadiums to play in.
Yeah. Yeah. I do think the Saints played decent against the Niners last week, but it was not the Niners at full strength without Purdy. I think everybody was anticipating the Saints were going to be like dead last in every category, but really they're like 25th or something, So
Yeah.
they're like a D, not an F that we were thinking. But I do think the Seahawks are hot right now. Their defense is playing well. Sam Darnold is did not really skip a beat from last year, and picked up with the new team. I talked a little smack about Kenneth Walker week 1 incorrectly. I love that guy actually. He's running like a bat out of hell. So I'm taking the Seahawks on this one. I know it's a lot of points, but I'm rolling with them.
Yeah. And staking with the Seahawks division, let's go with the Cardinals and 49ers. Both teams 2-0, to my surprise, especially the 49ers. Hey, Mac attack, baby. Mac Jones. He is showing that he was worth that first round pick, baby. He comes in this game, 279 yards, 26 out of 39 for 279 yards and 3 touchdowns and no turnovers. Uh, that's great. You want to see him back. Maybe he's having a little resurgence here, to everybody's surprise. They barely beat the Saints, I know, but I'm pretty sure everybody and their mother thought that Jones was going to have a turnover or two, give or take. But no, he played solid. He looked great. That's what you want to see with a backup quarterback. Cardinals as well. They're coming off a good win. Kyle Murray, probably his best game yet. Now, my problem with we'll just jump with the Cardinals here real quick since they're away team. My problem with the Cardinals is this: they played two division teams against two teams that are going to have massive loss records. The Panthers would be lucky to win 5 games, and the Saints would be lucky to win 5 games. And both those games were close. And both those teams, I think, covered against the Cardinals. Now, Kyle Murray had an awesome game. Now, but you don't want Kyle Murray throwing, you don't want him like being Superman. You want the running back room to carry him a bit, because then he could open up with his legs, do some RPO. He had a good game. He did throw an interception, but he had 220 yards against the Panthers. But you want to see more from James Conner. Conner only had 34 yards rushing in the Panthers game. So this running back room that I liked. I like James Conner. I like Benson. They haven't played well at all. The running room has looked terrible. Nobody has gone over 70 rushing yards, either running back for the Cardinals. So it's not looking too good. Um, we were critical of Marvin Harrison. He proved us wrong in the first game, but he didn't do nothing the second game against the Panthers. McBride led them with receiving yards in that game. And you know what? I'm not low of their defense either. Their defense on the Cardinals, they could get after the quarterback a little bit. Campbell is like 36, 37 years old. You don't want him being your leading guy because he's old. But what I'm getting to is their secondary. Their secondary is beat up right now. Will Johnson, the first round pick, or I think he fell in the second round, but he was a top pick for them, and he's been playing well in that first game. Coming in question with a groin injury, and groin injuries are not good, especially for a corner or wide receiver. And Max Mellon, their other corner, he's questionable with a knee injury. Okay, so they have corners all beat up in this game, and that's not good. And their linebacker Simmons has a concussion, and but he was a full participant for Thursday. But it's their corners who are beat up for this game. Briefly, dude, what do you think about the Cardinals? Do you think they're hype? Do you think that 2-0 justifies it, or do you think they're good for
No,
2-0?
no, I think you nailed it on the head that the teams they beat were not good and don't expect to improve really. Marvin Harrison Jr. is not dominating teams. He had a decent stat line, but I've seen some highlights where they're trying to throw some fade routes to him, and he doesn't win the ball. Like
Mm.
he's not going to win on a lot of things, and he needs to be better at those things that he should be winning on. I've never liked the Cardinals. Never liked Kyler Murray. The hype train is going to be hitting a brick wall here.
Right. And and when I was talking about the close games, I don't want to act like I was just pouncing on the Cardinals, but the 49ers, each game they won, Seahawks Saints, all less than one score, less than smaller than a touchdown. So they beat the Seahawks by 4 points. Seahawks got a great defense, and the Saints solid defense, terrible offense. So they're not blowing people away either. And Purdy is questionable. I think because of how Mac did, I think possibly that they're going to let Mac Jones take this away. Brock Purdy, he's still questionable for that toe, but from right hearing, that toe is still like couple, maybe next week or 2 weeks from there. What Juwan Jennings, he didn't practice today on Thursday, so that's not a good. Usually Thursday practice, Friday practice, they'll let you know that they're going to play or not. But maybe they're sitting him out this week, let him play. So that's a lot of wide receivers still hurt on this team. They still got what's his name? Christian
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. They still got Christian McCaffrey, Parcells. And their defense, look at their defense is still, they got a lot of great names. They can still get after the quarterback. But, like I said, MVS and Parcells and Kedrick Bourne, they signed to because of all those injuries to wide receivers, will be leading the wide receiving room if Jennings doesn't play. But the offense is going to run through McCaffrey and their defense. Bosa was getting after the last year. He was getting after it. They still got Fred Warner. Fred Warner looks like Fred Warner from old, one of the best linebackers of all football. So, dude, what do you think? I'm thinking you have probably Mac Jones. Pay attention to if you're going to bet on this game. Pay attention if he's going to play against Kyler Murray, but a beat up secondary in the Cardinals, but also a beat up wide receiving room in the 49ers. So, man, who do you think? And this is a tight number again at 2.5 points.
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Niners. I think they're a much better squad overall. I know they've got their injuries, but I just can't bet on the Cardinals. I think they're fool's gold, as you would say. And
Yeah.
I think the Niners are just a tier above them for sure. So easy
And you
pick
know
for me.
what? It's funny you say that. I'm in the process of making a video right now about fool's gold teams that are looking good, that are making the playoffs, and the Cardinals are on that list. I'm sorry, guys. Look at Kyle Murray, better than average quarterback, right? Good, not great. But this running back room, I don't know what's the problem. Maybe what's his name is all those injuries to the running back. Connor is finally catching up to him. We've never been a fan of Marvin Harrison Jr. So if I had to choose, I am definitely taking the 49ers to cover this game. Mac Jones says he's shown that he could sling it, and it's just that secondary. That secondary is all beat up, and I think anybody could now pass on this team for the time being. So give us the 49ers to win and cover the number. Now let's go to a team that is 0-2. And everybody's surprised that they went 0-2. The Super Bowl franchise kingdom. I told you guys they would lose against the Eagles. We have the Chiefs versus the Giants. Chiefs being favored by 6.5 points, and the over-under being 45.5. Let's jump on the Chiefs here real quick. The Chiefs, they did not look good against the Eagles. Their offense is putrid. I don't know who in God's name you could pass in that team, because I know Worthy is questionable, but I don't know if he practiced. Let me double check on that for you guys, because I'm not. He was limited in practice. I think, I don't know. And Jawan Taylor is questionable for this game too. They're starting left tackle. So, dude, their offense like putrid, right? Their running
Mhm.
back room is not good. Pachenko, whatever the hell you say his name, Hunt. These guys are not doing it for me. And their offensive line is not looking average, not great. Um, and who Travis Kelsey? I mean, he looks a tad better than last year, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of drop balls. He took his eyes away from the interception from the Eagles. And I'm not gonna lie to you, their defense, besides Chris Jones, they're not looking so great. McDuffie and Chris Jones, they're looking like, oh, you're not so great either, man. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not saying the Chiefs are gonna on the downhill, but there's some. I don't know. I see some cracks into that championship statues. You know what I mean?
For sure. The one thing that pisses me off that is still real is Mahomes is still insane. He's pulling stuff out of his butt every play and is still finding ways to make the offense work. Not great, but still, he looks insane. But like I said, everything else is bad. I think Kelsey does look better than last year, but last year it was almost embarrassing to see him out there. So that's not saying much. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Well, no, I should say I love what I'm seeing in how bad the Chiefs have been looking.
And you know what? This is a good thing and a bad thing. You're right about Mahomes looking like Mr. Superman, but it's not a good thing that he leads his team in rushing. He has
Mhm.
123 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. That means your running back room is ass city. I am sorry, Chief fans. Your running back room is hot garbage, and I don't think it's going to get any better unless you guys trade for somebody or sign somebody. And you guys are waiting for Worthy and you're waiting for Rasheed Rice. Oh, how stupid are they wearing those shirts? Freed Rasheed Rice. He committed a crime. He pleaded
Yep.
guilty, and you're wearing shirts. You could the bad that who what PR people let them wear those shirts? You idiots. You want to talk about the Eagles and they're like Jalen Carter, all that shit? Sure, but you know what, KC fans, you should be not happy with your fucking team did. Okay, so
Speaking
anyways,
of suspensions, though, we didn't talk about it. Why is Quinshawn Judkins playing?
So he's playing because the charges were dropped. They
Oh, okay. I'm
found
sorry. I'm
so
sorry.
yeah, so they were dropped on him. So he who knows, maybe the little payoff, we don't know, but the law's not going to go after it. So
Gotcha.
The Browns think, oh yeah, we could play him. So
Sorry.
back to this. I am not liking this. I'm not liking from the Chiefs ever. Maybe they're having a little Super Bowl, hangover, but their defense looks sore. I am sorry, guys. Your wide receiver room is god awful without Worthy and Rice, and your running back room is even worse because Mahomes is your best runner, and that's not good. So, Chiefs Kingdom, open the eyes, get the Super Bowl haze out of your mind because it's not looking too good. Okay, now let's jump on the Giants real quick. They had play the diet. They played the Cowboys. It was one of probably the most exciting game last week. It was a slobber knocker left and right. Russell Wilson, to my surprise, he looked like old Russell Wilson if need be. He looked dynamite against the Cowboys. He threw for 450 damn yards, unbelievable. And it was efficient because he was 30 for 41. That means he was slinging it and not throwing any, to the right guys. 3 touchdowns, 1 pick, so he's killing it. Um, the big, which for a lot of teams, it is. It seems like a lot of teams' running back rooms are not great this year, and
It's
the
so
same thing.
weird because last year, the year before, there were like Hall of Fame running backs getting traded left and right. There's guys like you could pick up anybody you wanted with Barkley, Henry, who else? Like, and now there's nobody. These teams are putting out bums.
Exactly. Scadaboo is a lead runner, and Tracy does not look good. And Scadaboo, this is not a good running back room. So no wonder they're slinging it. I mean, you have neighbors. Neighbors come out game, 167 yards, 2 touchdowns on 9 receptions. That means he was getting me some bombs from Russell Wilson. And also Robinson, the other wide receiver, he was doing great too. So they were slinging the ball, and we all knew they had neighbors, and neighbors was a great weapon. But I was surprised. I'm not surprised about the well, I am surprised because I was really bullish on their front seven. They have Director Lawrence, who's people forget that guy's a monster. Like you have to guard him, and they have, but they've now let around 61 points. No, yeah, 61 points in 2 games, 40 to the Cowboys and 21 to the Commanders. And these are your divisional rivals. They should be you should be knowing them like the back of your hand, but they're not. So this defense is actually, I am really scared about it. I'm more surprisingly, I'm more confident in Russell Wilson and their offense and the weapons than I am worried about their defense. I mean, I know Dexter Lawrence is going to come and play every game of the week, but this front seven, who I thought were going to get after the quarterback a lot, it is not looking good. And you think Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, Harris, you think these guys would get after the quarterback? They're not going to have the quarterback. So, man, I'm not trusting the Giants defense.
Yeah, I know it's really flipped on its head what we were expecting. I know I did watch that game last week, and I don't know if Russell just got a fire under him because I did see they started putting Jackson Dart in. They were like swapping plays in the beginning of the fourth quarter. Then all of a sudden, Wilson just went nuts. And when he has that eagle eye for the deep ball, watch out. I mean, he's knocked the Packers out of the playoffs multiple times. He can just pull stuff out of his ass repeatedly, and he did. So
Dude,
it was impressive, but I don't know if he can do it again.
you are right about that deep ball. He still has that like he could drop it, and it's unbelievable. Even still, like as it's getting older, he can still drop that deep ball on teams. And you're right about that. So, dude, this is what it comes to. This number is big. It open at 6.5. It's still 6.5. The Chiefs' putrid offense. They still got a good defense, but the defense needs to be better. But still good. And the Giants, you never know where you're going to get them. Basically, Russell Wilson. What are you going to get from him? Is it going to be the first game this season, or is it going to be the second game this season? So tough game. I'll go first. I've been telling you, but doing it first. This is really tough. I'm just not gonna. Oh, this is tough. You know what, man? I'll say it. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna take the Giants plus the points. I'm just gonna take the Giants plus the points because this uh, this front the Giants have the potential, the front seven, to be good. They have playmakers. I'm gonna bet. I'm hoping that this front seven takes the step up, saying, "Guys, we got toured by the fucking Cowboys. Let's step it up. We're playing. The Chiefs are coming to our territory. This would be a good moment to show them that we could do it." And I'm not saying they're going to win this game, but 6.5 points to a Chiefs team that offense looks stagnant. I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think, if you could tell me like what the future was going to be and the Chiefs win by 7, I would believe you. If you said the Chiefs win by 8, I'd be like, no way. So the margin for covering this is so small in my mind that I just got to go with the Giants.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. So we're putting our hope and our prayer to Mr. Unlimited, Russell Wilson, to maybe keep some of that luck he had last week, or maybe Jackson Dart comes in and does it better. Who knows? But I can't bet. I can't have the Chiefs offense cover this with that many points with that putrid offense. So give us the Giants plus the points. Now, time for the best bets. Adam had a winning best bets. I again losing best bets, but I feel like I'm going to turn around here. I said last week, but I like these games more than I've liked any game since this season started. But I'll let Adam, the winner of last week with his best bets, he went 2-1. I'll let him go first. Adam, take it away. Who do you like?
Sure. So, yeah, randomly, I'm going with the motto for my life here, and it is C's get degrees. So these are C teams. So the first one is the Colts. I think they're going to cover that 4.5, keep things rolling. The second team is the Chargers, that minus 2.5. I think they're going to handle the Broncos. Herbert's playing great. And then finally, the biggest C of the week, Cowboys by 7. We're going to go -7 on the Cowboys. I'm moving that one.
Wow. If hey, by the way, I like the first two picks. I almost picked both of them, and I don't know why I didn't pick them because now they sound even better when you're saying them. So I don't know why I didn't do them,
You can bet
but
them for me.
um, but Cowboys minus a touchdown. That's probably like plus 250, 300. So that's actually a really good number. So if you got me want to bet that, which hey, I might throw some money on that because I mean the Bears look terrible.
Turn one rent check into 2.5, baby.
There you go. I like those picks. All right, so my first pick is Texans money line. They are down. They're underdogs by 1.5, but I think their backs are against the wall. I think they know this is must win territory. The Jaguars, I did not like what they saw from they let a backup quarterback and Brownie come back and win the game for them. I know they have weapons everywhere, but I don't think the defensive line of the Jaguars can get to Stroud, which is their weakest point. I think the Texans could keep it close enough and win this game by a field goal. So I think the Texans, with their back against the wall, win this money line. And the second game, look at Sam Darnold is an inconsistent quarterback, but I think the Seattle defense is the biggest test for Spencer Rattler this year, and I think they're going to pit it to him. I know it's a big number, but I think it's in Seattle, one of the toughest places to play in all of football. I think they win this game and they cover the 7.5. So give me the Seattle Seahawks. And this bet gonna sound crazy, but I really feel confident. I think the Cleveland Browns are gonna hold the Packers. I think the Packers are going to run into a brick wall with this Cleveland defense. You heard it here, baby. I think they're going to give those wide receivers who are, and they're, but hey, the Packers are beat up. Kraft might not play this game. They're tight end. So Kraft, Reed, and Watson are all out for this game. I know the Browns are not that great offensive team, but I think Judkins, I think they let him take the reins off in the running back room and let him rush all over the Packers. I think they keep it close enough. So give me the Browns plus 8.5, baby. You like that one?
You're getting desperate.
Hey, baby, go Joe Flacco, baby. I love it. I think they're
You're
gonna.
gonna have you're gonna have the Packers on the Fool's Gold list next. Just wait. He's trying to piss me off.
I was thinking I'll take Browns money line, but I think I'll
do it.
I'm
gonna move something by 7. I'd much rather take the Cowboys by 7 than the Bears money line.
I hear that. Well, guys, hey, those are our best bets. I think that's gonna be a fun week of football, especially if the Browns come back and they cover or win money line. But like and subscribe, guys. It goes a long way for this small channel. Adam has me beat against the spread right now for his overall picks and best bets. I'm hoping to come back this week and take over the reins and get first place. Like I said, it goes a long way, guys. If you like, subscribe, share it, do whatever you want. We love doing this and we love it. It's fun. And I like doing, if you do gamble, bet responsible. Stay away from those parlays if you could. So with that, guys, have fun while you're doing this. As always, we'll see you week 4. We'll see you in the next one. Woo, dude.